Hey, what's up, everybody? Thanks for joining us in again. Got another week of the Reef Experience going. This week we have Tier One joining us. Lewis will be joining us. What's up, Jake Harry? New Reef, New Jersey. All right, let's get it going. Jake Harry, man, I used to watch videos. I'm pretty sure she have the videos. He had that big acrylic tank made. What's up, sir? Oh, we lost him. He'll be back. Chandel Rocks. What's up, Jonathan Reef? McLovin the first. Shout out to McLovin. Nuclear Reefing, thanks for joining us.
We there?
Yes, sir. How you doing?
What's up, my man? Sorry, we had technical difficulties. I was on, but you know how it is.
What's up, Scooby? Reef Drip, Fish
Hey,
Tropical joining us in.
what's up? We got the whole gang in here.
How you doing, sir?
Oh, good, man. Another crazy week, man. Every week's been crazy. Work's been nuts, man. I'm really happy to be here and just chill, not have to do nothing, talk some reef stuff, and not have to worry about work. I'm sure you can feel the same sometimes. Not, you know.
Sure. Actually, I took this week off.
Oh,
Yeah.
uh-huh. I wish I could say the same.
Doing that. This is my first time taking a vacation and not going on vacation though, so that's different.
That's interesting.
Since January, so
You on R&R right now?
yeah.
Rest and relaxation.
My parents actually my mom flew up from the islands.
Ooh, is this her first time up in Georgia? Like
no, she lived here before they went down to the islands.
But like to your place?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So we've been chilling, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, Bigfoot's Reef just joined, dude. That meme that he made of you with the boxes, that's legendary.
I got boxes. I definitely got more boxes for everybody that's wondering.
I love it.
I got t-shirts, I got hats.
Nah, I love it. I love the Aquaforce one now too. I see those. I see the hat.
You got the hat.
That's a nice hat too.
Yeah, shout out to Aquaforce, man. They've been sending me boxes from Poland for a couple of years now, so shout out to them.
Yeah, man. I mean, they're a good company, man. I mean, before I even knew you, like, you dealt with them at all. I mean, I was buying their stuff, man. I liked their stuff. I mean, I wanted to go European, and Tropic Marin wasn't talked about as much at the time. Like, Aquaforce was like it when it came to like across the seas type.
Yeah.
It's not, I like how now they have somebody else over there, but definitely like those are the players. Like Aquaforest right now, they're up there, and anything right now coming from that side, in my opinion, is really good quality stuff, man.
Yeah, I mean, I've always liked the European brands as well.
I mean, as much as not to knock our companies. We have some great companies out here, but man, boy, do they I would love to see like some type of like that premium grade, that super premium grade style that those two guys deliver in an American brand. I don't think it's. I mean, this is my opinion, guys. I could be wrong, or I might be missing it just because I'm not in the market for it. Might not be seeing it. It might be out there. Comments are open. Reef Drip said Tropic Man for life.
I think Red Sea could have a premium like brand line.
Yeah,
because they're already kind of bordered. Like it's nice stuff. They have a full product line. I think they could have a more premium,
I agree with you, and I mean, now that you bring that up, the Red Sea and Brightwell,
nice. The packaging.
We'll say that again.
Red Sea, their packaging looks really good.
Yeah, there probably are like them and Brightwell, in my opinion, are probably like top of the food chain.
Brightwell, although like, because I have some Brightwell stuff here, like. I use Brightwell, right?
Oh, I use Microbacter 7 since I started the hobby.
I use the reefer.
I've heard of that one. Never used it, but heard of it a lot.
good. And I also use the phosphate E, which you can, as opposed to running GFO, you can just liquid dose it like
Mm.
carb. I use the phosphate E, and that works really good.
What's
But
up, Coral King? We got Coral King in the building. Yo,
I like
Reef
all colors, man.
Keeper.
I also
Oh,
like the packaging. I don't know. I like packaging. I like the product.
me too.
I like going to one company and being able to buy everything, kind of.
Yeah.
You know, Micro Musa said the packaging. Maybe it's the packaging that sold me. I don't know. They
Yeah,
said
I'll be on.
like it.
It's always a bonus for me, but ultimately, like,
Look at that. This is cement, and look at the bag it came in. It looks legit. You know.
crazy.
I don't know. I like packaging.
No, I mean, it speaks volume of the company. I mean, Clearwater brought it up too. You know how much he invests into his packaging. You know when he was on our live a few lives ago, and I mean that hit home to me and a lot of people. Micro Musa says she uses everything Brightwell, and there's another one that lives by Brightwell. What's up, Mark De Niro? Another one that lives by Brightwell is Arab Reefer. I think he
Only
uses their salts.
look. This is the only thing I don't like about the Brightwell pack like labeling. It's too much. It's too much shit on here. Like look how much stuff is on here, bro. Like it's you know
I,
you know like it's a lot. And I've been using this for years and I like it. And
Now
you
that
know,
you say that, I
but
remember reading all that. Like when I first got in the hobby, I remember sitting there and reading that. Like I've never looked at that again. Like I should go back and because now I probably understand it. It was all gibberish when I read it. I tried to figure it out. I gave up. I
work.
said,
It's like you just got too much stuff on here, bro. Like I get the
yeah.
front, but you could have took all of this and just put it back here. But like, what is this shit?
RG Coral says neo nitro and neo phosphate. That's another one that I heard is very popular for those guys that are doing the phosphate and nitrates. They use that. RG says easy calculations. I've always loved Brightwell. I mean, look, Microbacter 7, that one bottle for me does so much. I'm a big bacteria person. I mean, granted, when we had the
Have
microbacteria,
one join in with us.
oh, let's have them join on. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, it'll be a perfect segue because some of the questions I got for him. What's
Richard
up, Tier
Hayden, but
One? How you doing?
Good. Oh, can you see me?
We see you. It's a bit dark, but we see you.
Yeah. I don't know. It's kind of messed up on my end.
Nah,
Hey guys, doing?
no, it's all good. We'll make it work. That's
Yeah.
what we do out here. What's up, the bilingual reefer? We got Clearwater Scrubbers in the building, guys. We got Tier One Reefing in here. Another business that we love.
Yeah.
on here,
That's the OG packaging right there.
I
right?
love that.
It's clean in the front,
Yeah.
and it does have stuff on the back,
But
Yeah.
it's perfect. It looks
No,
just right.
Yeah. No.
That's just
I,
right.
I'm a packaging person. I like packaging.
Yeah. Yes. Hey,
The way I see it, right? The way I see it is this: there's 100 different companies that all have similar products, right? Because they're not the same; they're similar. Some are better, some are worse, right? So you have to sell me on it. And for me, the packaging is what sells me. Like if it looks legit, if you took the time to make it look legit when I open it, when I get the box, that means this is probably maybe it's a better product, maybe it's not, but you took the time to do that. You know what I'm saying?
absolutely.
So if you're willing to take the time to just make the bag look nice, then it's probably a better product.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, hey, first and foremost, thank you, Tier One Reefing, for joining us, man. We really
No.
appreciate you taking time out of your day.
No problem. Thank you for having me. It's pretty cool, just to be able to be part of that. I watched many of your Reef Experience episodes, and it's pretty cool to see you guys communicate and interact with a lot of the reefing community. So it's a lot of people can appreciate that because it's like you guys are sharing, your trade secrets and what everyone else is doing, so that way they can be successful.
Yeah, no, and we appreciate. I mean, and it's kind of naturally evolved on its own. We really haven't. We've kind of just let most of it flow for the most part. Me and Des, I mean, the biggest win, and I'm speaking for myself, but I think Des can relate too, is just having people like y'all that just have these different. I mean, most of the trade secrets are coming from y'all. You know, like we're picking y'all brains, and then we give our 2 cents of our opinion, which I think, like to your point, is a part that people appreciate. Because it's just kind of, we're just speaking our minds. Not, you know, we're giving the disclaimer that, you know, at your own discretion, you know, but we're just two fans of the hobby. You know, we're two big fans of the hobby that found a
Yep.
cool niche. You know, with this Instagram, just the ability to be able to connect with this many people across the country in seconds. You know, I don't know where you coming from. I heard you were Central Florida. Is that true?
Yeah, like the Tampa area.
Gotcha.
Nice.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Yeah, that's where I was actually up in that area today. I was up in Bradenton, Florida, and
Oof.
fairly close to y'all.
Yeah.
It's a hike up there, but it's beautiful area. It's a nice area, but the reefing community, it's in there. It's in there surprisingly. Like there's a lot more people than you would expect. You know, as far as the reefing community in that Central Florida. I mean, granted, we all know Orlando was, you know, the mecca of the coral world with worldwide corals and top and
Yeah.
all these, you know. But even like I meet a lot of people. I'm always venturing through this, and I'm meeting a lot of people in these very deep. I don't know where you are, but you know, Central Florida just has a lot of little deep cracks.
Louis, why do you think Central Florida has such a big reefing community? I mean, because like from the aspect of the ocean, right? Coming from Miami, the both of us are from Miami.
Yeah.
When they ride their boats, they can only ride the boat out into the Gulf, right? A bunch of green water over there, right? And then if you go off to the right, you have the Bahamas, and that's kind of it. So why do you think that is?
I think I have the answer, but I want to hear what Tier One says before I answer because he's a citizen there, and then I'm gonna see if I'm right or wrong. Go ahead.
So, from what I've heard over the many years, is that the Florida, in general, is an aquaculture state, just because we're surrounded by water and everything that's in it. As far as Tampa in itself, I think just maybe because the commute and the Tampa Bay area is kind of like a small, like San Diego, or you know, like a small big city, like in Cali or something like that. That's the only way that I can think of it, is it just because it's a bigger city. But then again, Miami's pretty popping too, and a lot of those cities.
Miami does have a good reefing community, but it's not like Orlando. Like when I think about reefing in Florida, like to me, Central Florida, Orlando, those areas, they have the most going on, or at least they have the best shops, or all centrally located in one spot. Because like even when you think about Miami, I think the best store people think of when they think of Miami is Strictly Fish.
Yeah.
I
think that's the one that comes to mind most of all.
Absolutely. No, you're right. You're right.
But Orlando does have worldwide corals. They have TSA. They have there's another store that's there, and they're all pretty top tier stores.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but he nailed it in the head. I mean, that's exactly what I was gonna say. Like, I mean, even though there is some more rural, non-beach, you know, areas, we're still all like surrounded by water. I've always had that sense that Florida. Say it again.
So Orlando's kind of far from the beach. It's not super
But
close.
you know, and as you were saying that, I was thinking SeaWorld, you know, because even before Worldwide Corals, before everybody, like, you know, I think SeaWorld and that whole, for me, like the reef tanks kind of relate a lot to that vibe, you know, colorful and life and, you know, so I think all of that, for some reason, in my opinion, Orlando had a lot to do with shaping that. And then obviously these big players showed up and I think made it easy to, as a hobby, you know, you had reach now. Correct me if I'm wrong, Tier One. You would probably know better than I do.
Yeah, I mean, it just has a lot to do. Like there, and like in Tampa, as far as the smaller reefing companies, the smaller businesses, and the people operating from their home too. There's a lot more per square mile, I feel, that's going on. So a lot more people are trying to get into the business, turn a hobby into a business, which is not bad. You know, it's just also helping reef out too.
Absolutely.
Let me ask you, living in Tampa, how often do you travel to Worldwide Corals, for example?
So I have been there twice to the new store, and I just went there when they had the Reefapalooza this past year, and that's the only time. So it's a crazy thing. I mean, the reefing obviously is different, but like people ask you, how many times you gone to Disney World or SeaWorld? I live here, so I barely go. I probably been
Yeah.
once.
And probably what, like about an hour away, hour and a half?
Yeah, roughly.
So Tier
Yeah.
One, tell us what is it that you do?
So I primarily focus on our phytoplankton, and then we're a national distributor for Barrier Reef Labs, the LPS and SPS micropearl. And the phytoplankton all started with one of my buddies. I started making my own food because over time it gets expensive.
Right.
So I decided to start culturing my own, and after a while of a lot of trial and error, and doing my own research and YouTubing and just reading and doing the research, I finally started to get I wouldn't say perfected because I feel like it's never ending. You're always trying to perfect something, but you're getting closer and closer. And so I was telling one of my buddies, he's asking me how my tanks were doing, and I said pretty good. I just started making my own food, and one of my other friends said I should start selling it, and he goes, "You ain't gonna make no money off of that." And me, I've always been a go-getter ever since I was a kid, and I was like, "Challenge accepted, bro." So ever since then, it turned into a bet that turned into licensing, turned into, dropping by coral farms, and I just like the
And
mechanic, the way things work.
what are you primarily making? Are you primarily making Fido, or are you making the Barrier Reef Lab stuff?
No, the Barrier Reef, I'm just a distribution hub for them
Okay.
out of Australia. But the Fido that's all me from what we do.
Okay.
By the way, guys, for the people that just joined, we got Tier One Reefing. Okay, go check them out. Follow them. It's and once again, you if you go back to our lives, it's just these very interesting stories and businesses, and the way they're created, and it all stems from the love of the hobby. We all just were hobbyists at one point in time. It seems like that's where it all stems for the most part. I'm sure there's the anomalies out there, right? But it's safe to say we're all just most of the stories we've heard, it all starts with a tank, and you had a friend sometimes challenging. But
Yeah,
yeah, that challenge turned into Tier One Reefing.
yeah.
That's crazy. That's a story all on its own. And there's a lot of people in here that have businesses on right now, and thanks to y'all. But there's a lot of people that are probably, like you said, having that thought of in the near future converting over to a business, whether it's corals or products or good dry goods, or there's so many. I know, like me, I'm all over the place. Des can tell you, like I'm constantly venturing because I appreciate these small businesses so much. So it's whether it's rock work. I mean, I deal with rock work guys, acrylic guys. And they're all small businesses that are now branching out into large businesses, and great businesses. So hats off to you.
So Tier One, I would like you to give us some. Let's talk phytoplankton. Tell us about it. Tell us what it is, how it works, why you're making it. Break it
So
down. Give us science.
so just so I put this out there, I have no degrees, no schooling in it.
I promise you, none of us do.
So strictly trial and error, and gotta because it's strictly experience, and so you can't knock experience from what you've learned. And so I only do nanochloropsis, and this is my personal opinion. I only do the one strain um, because I feel that if you have multiple strains in there, because it's a living organism, that once you put all those into a bottle, they're competing for space, and so some will kill off others, and so then you'll have die off in the bottle. So the less die off you have in the bottle, no matter what it is, the longer shelf life you'll have. So I was trying to do it as a long-term thing. So I strictly just culture nanochloropsis strain only.
Okay. How many different strains are there, if I can ask, that you know of?
think there's like four strains.
I believe I want to say it could be four. I know it's between 4 and 7. I actually got licensed for it too, and to your point, there is a main one that is used, and I really kind of stopped doing it personally. But I know maybe you can say the one you're specifically doing. Um, but yeah, there is a several does, but there's like 2 or 3 that are like the top players, that almost all companies produce.
And then when he was saying just about combining them, because I was actually thinking about, I saw online, they have the 2 Fido things that you purchase, right? And you can
Hmm.
culture your own. Um, does one outcompete the other, and that's why you don't like to mix them? Or what makes that particular strain the one that you chose?
I think my opinion on the Nanochloropsis, I like that particular strand because it's broadly used. It's the most common out there, and it's the hardiest of all. It's got a longer longevity, and it just seems to really work. The densities, you can get denser density with that particular strain.
What exactly does the Fido do? Is it just like kind of like today I was looking at my glass, right? And I have a new tank. My tank is only about 3 weeks old. I purposely haven't been cleaning the glass so I can see when the pods start coming.
Hmm.
And it's just kind of, those just different levels of life. Is the Fido just kind of like, what I mean, along the way for everything going on in the tank, or does it feed something specifically?
So the Fido is going to feed all your filter feeders, all your invertebrates, your pods. So you might notice that when you're dosing Fido in your tank and you have pods, you just can't really see some of them. Like there may be a burst where you may see some, and then you're like, man, I thought I had pods in here. But then when you start dosing Fido, then all of a sudden there's an explosion in the population. It's because they've gotten some of that food. Fido's super. It really helps boost their population. Corals eat them, mandarin gobies eat them, your filter feeders eat them, and it's a producer of oxygen. It's the #1 producer of oxygen in the whole world. A lot of people don't know that, and it also helps control your nitrates and your phosphates as well.
Hmm. Do you know how it's doing all of that?
So when you culture Fido, the fertilizers that you're using have nitrates and phosphates on there, and so with the proper light cycle, when you're culturing it, that essentially the nitrates and phosphates that are already in your tank, you're feeding. That is essentially fertilizer for your Fido that's in there. So it's gonna slowly. It's not going to be anything great, but it's like building a car. You have you have an exhaust, and then you have a chip, and so everything collectively that you're doing correct is going to help you in the long run.
That's a
Nice.
great way to put it. Yeah. Um, Great breakdown, and I wanted you to kind of speak on that before I kind of have my questions and my story that I want to kind of feed by you and kind of give you some questions around it. Before I jump to that, what other products do you carry? Do you carry just Fido, or can you what options do you have out there? Is it mainly Fido?
So we're working on a pod grow out and then a macro algae workstation.
Ooh,
That workstation is pretty much what it is. It's just 3 levels of nothing but macroalgae. So it's going to be like some of the top tier people or macros that people want, which would be like the blue hypnea, the dragon's breath, gracilaria, some of those.
that is so cool. I like that. I like that. Now that you do distribute for Barrier Reefs, and I know they have a very wide range of great products because I know they're very popular and have very good reviews. Everybody I've heard that uses Barrier Reef, like it's usually
I,
great results.
Funny though, I don't know where I got this from.
Mm,
I don't. I didn't buy it. I know someone sent it to me, but I don't remember where I got it from.
Is
that's
it empty?
crazy.
Is that empty?
No, it's not empty.
Oh,
I still got half of it. I lost the top.
Now, what
But, but you know what? You know what makes me for coral food, right? For me, and again, none of us are scientists, so don't quote me on any of this. But for me, what makes the coral food pop or not is if the fish go after it. If I put coral food in the tank and the fish are to get it, to me,
It ain't the real deal.
and this, when you put it in it, the fish are trying to eat it. So I know
Really,
they're trying to eat it as well. You know what I'm saying?
I
Like,
like that.
it could be true, could be not true. But if I don't go for it, to me, I won't use it again.
I have a thing that I've been doing. It's I've been trying to like really push. It's called Fido Mud, and all it is me taking my signature Fido with Barrier Reef Labs, and whether it be the SPS or the LPS, or I'll combine them, and then I'll just mix some mud in it. You know, just I'll probably do like a half teaspoon of either or, and I'll put like 4 or 5 mLs of the Fido, and then just mix it up, let it sit till it's a consistency, and then you just use like a syringe, and then you just target feed, and then that's essentially your mud. And a lot of people are loving it, and they're seeing good
Now
results.
you answered the next question for me. What's up, G Carroll? We got G Carroll in the building. You answered the next question for me because it was like
Llama, Koral.
oh, did you have any do you have any collabs coming or present already with Barrier Reefs, like between Tier One and Barrier, since you are already dealing with each other?
Yeah, I see. I've been with them for about a year,
Okay.
and so like as far as like accounts and stuff like that, we have stuff ranging from Cali, Miami, Puerto Rico, and Costa Rica that I've been sending off, and I mean, just the response from all over has been phenomenal.
That is amazing. Shumi's Reef, what's up, man? The Polyp Lab coral food is great on chicken. Oh my gosh.
No thanks.
Yeah, this is some crazy stuff, man.
Let me
Well,
ask you a question. Now, I mean, it's a silly question, but he brought that up. The things the Fido and all of these things. What happens if someone drank some of that stuff? You wouldn't die, right?
So I don't condone it, just because I mean, obviously, it's probably going to taste salty as hell. But so I've been doing a lot of reading, and if you Google phytoplankton and in the medical field, there's a lot of stuff coming down the pipeline as far as how phytoplankton is being like super saturated to where they're separating the water from the actual cells and making pastes, and it's doing wonders with different patients for various illnesses and stuff like that. I'm not telling you
really?
to go grab a bottle of mine and drink it, but if you look on Google and you see phytoplankton in the medical field, it's a real thing. It's legit.
You know, it's funny you say that because I've always thought, because some of these corals people don't realize they're millions of years old. So I'm assuming phytoplankton is probably millions and billions of years old. So like the evolution of these things, like we just can't see it. But there must be stuff in there that we're just not kind of like, just because we're, once again, it should be all under professional supervision and stuff. But I think there's more to it in the medical side that's not being kind of, maybe it is, and it's just not there yet, but I'm sure it is, I guess. But on the coral side, I think corals bring more to the table than people think, including and all the bacterias and phytos and living organisms that come along with it. I think there's a lot of answers there, probably, just because
Yeah.
of the evolution of these things.
So I got another simple, basic. And again, it's just a basic question, right? Fido is green. Amino acids are green. What's the difference?
Great
Well,
question.
what amino acids? The Red Sea?
All of them. I mean, for me, the Aquaforce, the elixir, it's green.
Yeah.
A and B plus from Red Sea is green.
Yeah, that's Incredible Hulk green.
Yeah, that is Incredible Hulk.
Person, like visually, it looks like the same thing. But what is the difference? And do you use aminos when culturing Fido?
No, I don't use aminos just because it's something that's foreign, and I haven't gone down that road. I mean, it's not something that probably not unheard of. But so I would say I'm old school or stubborn, but so far I'm sticking to what has worked the best so far. Doesn't mean that I'm not open to different things, like anyone should in the reefing industry. If you are stuck to one thing and you only do that one thing, you never know what could be. Maybe your tank could benefit a little bit more. But
Absolutely.
as far as using aminos while culturing, I have not.
And how much of this stuff are you making? You say that you're a shipping hub for Barrier Reef, which I've used. So how much Fido are you making? Do you have like a whole warehouse full of this stuff?
So it's not a warehouse. I do it all in house at my place. So I have upwards of anywhere between 75 and 150 gallons, at one time. And
Wow,
it
that's a lot of Fido.
yeah, it just depends on orders because there's the cultures could be ready to split anywhere between 9 and 12 days. So it just depends. It's a numbers game.
So what happens after the 9 days? Do you have to get rid of the whole batch and start over?
No, I split it. So I'll do, suppose, let's just use round numbers. If I have 1 gallon and then it's ready to be split. So it's essentially what it is, split. So I'll take the 1 gallon and then I'll take that and then I'll take the half and then now it's a half gallon. So then I can go ahead and start my other
The
batch.
next batch going.
Yep.
Now, I guess I'll get into my story now, and I think it's a story a lot of us can relate to. What's up, Duke of Coral? What's up, Queen Reef? We back in the days when I first got in it, Fido was something. And Des, I don't know if you had this experience, but I think you probably had it. You like a lot of Fido back in the days, and still today, but more back in the days, was being sold like through Craigslist or OfferUp, and it was always like a house buy, and you would go buy it at somebody's house, and we've all experienced that. And most of us at one point in time, where we've gone to the Fido guy somewhere.
Yeah.
And it seems like every time I've gone, that's why lately I appreciate you guys that are like really professional about what you're doing, because now that I look back, everybody gave me a different like memo as I went through a lot of them, and all of them felt valid at the time. It doesn't feel like it was wrong at the time, but everybody kind of had like a different kind of take and story and how to kind of deal with Fido and what works and what doesn't work. Like, I'm going to give you one example that I want you to kind of either yay or nay it. But one of the guys, and this always stuck with me, is that he told me for some of these filter feeder corals to consume this Fido, due to the size, they needed to go through rotifers. So rotifers had to consume them first, and then they would reach a size that was approachable by filter feeding corals. Is that a true statement, or is that incorrect?
I think it's 50-50. So I don't necessarily think it has to go solely through rotifers, because filter feeders are just that. They're filtering out everything. So it depends on what it is, the clam, feather dusters,
Gotcha.
what have you. So like, what's the micron that they're filtering?
That was my next question. I guess you said microns. What is the micron size of Fido?
Off the top of my head, I don't remember. But as far as the cell density per centimeter of water or millimeter of water, there's like 26 million cells per.
Wow. Oh, that's
the
crazy.
thing over that, which lately I've been really pushing the limits of the culture until it either crashes or I get exactly what I want. So like I'm doing my own testing too, because I don't just want to stop right where I'm at. So I have no problem with going back and using a couple cultures as test cultures and push. And there's a lot of great Fido makers out there that are doing the same thing.
Yeah, not yeah. Once again, it was always the what always kind of drew certain curiosities is because most of these Fido producers were using their Fido in very peculiar ways. Just like one was not like one of the guys that gave me some of this info back in the days was not even a corals involved with corals. He was producing clownfish. So he was feeding, obviously, Fido. Fido was a must in his life because he was feeding it over the rotifers, and the rotifers, the clownfish would take them in. But it was always, I always wanted to see if it was still the same perspective on the coral side,
Yeah.
On how the corals took it.
From what I'm hearing, I'm getting a lot of feedback, not just only on the Barrier Reef Labs food side of things, but the Fido also. Some people are having trouble with maybe diatoms or or some kind of algae. So I'm not saying that this is the miracle elixir and that you put this in your tank and it's collectively doing everything properly. That I have the feedback that I have from multiple people saying that that my particular phyto has helped them through algae struggles, diatoms, and certain other things.
Gotcha.
So, what I've always used Fido for, number one, I've always put it in the tank. I have no idea what it does. I know it feeds filter feeders, and I know the copepods and all of that kind of stuff eat it. But it's kind of one of those things that I kind of put in the tank blindly.
Right.
I've also always thought of it as something to add to the tank when you have clams.
Yeah, clams. Definitely love Fido, the clams. I don't know. There's a video out there. I'll have to send it to you guys. But on YouTube, there's a video out there with, I think it was like a 20-gallon tank with a ton of clams in there. And they literally dumped a gallon of super dense Fido in there. And I think it was like hours later, they did a time-lapse video. And they totally sucked it all out. And it was clear.
Yeah, it's amazing to see how they consume them, like the rotifers too, like how fast they take it in. But what Des, you asked the question of we pour it blindly, and that I'm glad you said that because you brought up a question that I wanted to ask too, and that kind of segues from what I was saying earlier, and this comes from one of those stops. The guy would sell them in these big milk jugs at the time, right? He would tell me, like, just pour the whole thing in. It's all good. This thing's super safe. And I think one time I did it, like, blind, like, no problem. Like, he said it's cool. A whole gallon of milk. Like, it was he used the milk jug. He literally used the milk jug. Dude, this was back in the days. This was when I first started. I found this guy. He sold me on this. I came home with a big old gallon of green, and my wife was like, "What are you gonna do with that?" I said, "Just watch me." I just said, pour, and I don't think nothing. I think it like kind of. I don't remember what happened. It's too far back to tell the truth, but I just always thought about that because that was like the craziest pour I've ever done. Like a whole gallon of that. Like that was my wild moment. So I'm curious to hear from Tier One, like. Is that safe? Like, what would happen? Like, what are your dosing requirements or suggestions per se? Like, what do you think, Tier One? Like, how crazy can we go with this Fido stuff? We're losing you a little bit, Tier One. I'm sorry. Or is it just me, Des?
No, we're losing Tier One. I think he's outside. I don't know.
We outside.
With the I've never put all of it in there.
I poured a gallon. A milk jug. I'll never forget it. A whole milk jug. Duke of Koral. There's a lot of talk going in the comments, man. I'm trying to keep up, but it's crazy in there.
They're talking about snow, so I mean, hey, I just want to see the snow one day, and then it can.
Hey, we got Coral King in here, Des, and I told him we were gonna have him join. I want to see. What's up?
Coral King, send the requests.
He bought this fish today, man. That's flipping me out, dude. Like,
forget about fish. You know what he got?
What'd he get?
He got the mangrove that I need.
Oh, I saw that. I forgot about that, but when I first saw it, the first thing that came to my head was you. I was like, he's gonna say something about that mangrove.
All right, so we got the Coral King is joining us.
Yeah, dude.
Queen of Reef also is joining us.
All right, so hey, Coral King, today you got 2 requests.
Hold on, real quick. I have the Queen of Reef also joining us.
Ooh, it's a party.
Whenever you get situated, just send me a request, and then when someone drops out, we'll bring you back in.
Hey, what's up, Queen? Hey. What's up, Coral King? Hey, yeah, Tier 1, man. Jump back on later on, man. We wanted to keep talking to you.
Yeah, we lost Tier 1. He lost his Wi-Fi connection. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, what's up? How's everybody doing today?
Everyone's popping in now.
All right, Coral King, what's up? Show us what you got. I want to see that fish, man. I don't know. Have you told the story yet of this fish or no?
There's 2 of them. So
no way. Is there?
I mean, I got 2 fish in today, so we got the Katayama and Lunalatum.
You say that slower, bro. I didn't understand that one. I know I'm not gonna understand it anyways, but I want to try. So say it again.
So these fish are like so rare. There's like no common name or trade name. So the basslet, like this is a basslet. It's huge though, but it goes by Leopropoma lunulatum, and it's closely related to the rainbow basslet. And then let's see, if it's gonna show itself, but it's huge. It's probably the biggest fish in my tank, honestly.
Really? How big would you say?
Even have a common hobby name?
Nope. I think I'm the first one in Americas with this fish too.
So then I think we should name it right now. What do you want to name it?
Oh, Queen. Look, the Queen has the name.
What do you want to name it?
Queenfish.
Queen Fish? Hey,
Well, I guess it doesn't matter.
that's a beautiful fish, though, man. The colors on.
Yeah, I had to install 12 fans above my tank just to keep the water cool for these guys, because these guys are like super deep water fish. And then back there is the one that Reef Builder just made an article of, the Katayama, hiding in the dark. I don't know if you guys can see him. Boom, you see it?
I see it.
Yeah, that's the one that Marine Collectors was selling for like 20 grand. But I just got one in my tank today.
Is
Nice.
wow. And you said the other one came from Japan, right?
Both of these came from Japan, from the same person, Kojiwara, over at Blue Harbor. And then, yeah, I came last month to the States.
So how do you broker these fish? Like, how do you run into this? Like, this was in a tank in Japan somewhere. How do you like make these connections, bro?
So do you know
the way?
you know the TV show Tanked?
Okay.
So their fish supplier, Eric Cohen, I met him, and he's the one who like supplies all the fish to all the major aquariums, like Georgia Aquarium, even Caesar's Palace, SeaWorld, Disney, like all those big places. And he gets in like hammerhead sharks and everything, like the big
King
fish.
dropping gems on these people.
Yeah. So then I got in contact with him, and he got me these 2 fish.
They look awesome.
Yeah, they even like fluoresce under blue. So if I turn up all blues, like they'll glow. Like there's part of them that like glows under blues and UV.
Do you have what's the name of the one that comes from Cuba? I think it's a basslet.
The candy basslet?
Yeah.
Oh, I love that fish.
Yeah, I got that. It's in my
Great.
BioCube.
From Cuba or no?
I think it's deep water Caribbean.
There's a very specific one that comes from Cuba. You got to get that one.
Oh, the Cuban Dijon grandma, I'm pretty sure you're talking about. It looks like a royal grandma, but like crazy.
So is it safe to say this isn't your dorm room, right?
No, this is I'm back home now. I made the trip back. I'm trying to find the candy.
All right, cool.
Where's the candy basslet? I have a big one here I got from another hobbyist.
I really want one. Those are my favorite. They're my favorite fish.
I love them. I think Cuban Reefer has one. He has to have one.
Is the one from Cuba. You got to get that one. You got to get that Cuban fish, bro.
I think Biota captive breeds them now, right?
Really?
Yeah. I think they go for like $2 grand or something.
Mm-hmm.
Biota.
Yeah.
Des, let's do favorite fish real quick. What's your favorite fish?
My favorite fish?
That you own and like dream fish. Both of them.
No, like you like aquarium reef.
I like the Mandarin. Is my favorite one.
Which one?
The Mandarin.
Ooh, I just got one of those recently too. That's one of my favorites too.
So, like the colors on them, and if you can get them big, they get decent size. You can get them real fat. The fins are blue and green. You know what I'm saying? Those are
Queen, what about you, Queen?
My favorite fish would be the candy basslet, and I think that's like my all-time favorite at the moment, at least. And then out of the fish I currently own, I don't know. I just got 2 fish yesterday. They're like basic fish, but I'm not a fish person. I've never been a fish person.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is.
Yep, that's the candy.
Ah, that's my favorite
So
fish.
before I ask someone else, right? Here's my thing about fish. I was thinking about it the other day when I was buying fish. And I also bought a fish I didn't tell anyone I bought because I know it's not going to work, but I want to keep it. So before everyone kills me, you know what I think is weird? There's so many fish out there, and we all have the same ones. You don't think Like there's so many variety of it, but we all have the same 5 tanks. We all have the same 5 antheas. I mean, the Coral King is different. He's got something else going on over here. But
Yeah,
I
no,
mean,
you're right.
Is that a bad thing though? I'm
it's just kind of
honestly
weird.
like I'm not a fish person. I've never kept fish, and I'm just starting to add fish first time really, and I'm taking all the basic fish. Like I never had the opportunity to keep basic fish, and I know I'm
Right.
probably gonna get like, oh, why didn't you get this and why didn't you get that? But it's like, doesn't everybody have to go through that basic fish?
But I just feel like there's so
Yeah.
many kinds. You know what I'm
Like
saying?
like circulating.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, there's a lot of beautiful fish, and I guess I saved the best for last because I'm curious to see what Coral King's new favorite fish is. But before I do that, write your favorite fish in the comments. I want to hear what y'all guys. I know I saw some prawn gobies, I saw some stuff, but let me hear what else we got out there. Coral King, what's your favorite fish?
Honestly, like, let me see where he went. This
It's
guy,
always the newest one. You know, your favorite fish is always the one prior to.
right? I don't know. Like this guy really, really surprised me. Like I like this basslet so much now. Now he refuses to come out, but he used to swim like all across the tank. Like as soon as I put him in, he was already eating and just swimming left and right. I don't know. This one is just super dope. And for basslet too, it's like huge. Like it's like this big, and it's like the same family as the candy basslet, which
That's crazy.
which blows my mind. It's bigger than this gem tank it always fights. Yeah, wait, come on out.
Uh, he says, no, not everyone has the same fish. I have the Ventrals Antheus. Those are nice. I think those have the purple along the top, I think. Dwarf Golden Angelfish. I have an angelfish in my tank, and it is trying to eat something, but I figured it out. And a Japanese yellow mass angelfish. So angelfish, right? They eat the corals, but they look really nice. So when I bought my angelfish, I bought a lemon peel, and it definitely eats coral, right? But just the yellow, the blue eyes, they glow. It looks super dope.
His don't eat.
I read a Reef Builders article, and it's eating very specific type of coral.
Hmm.
They kept it in a Euphilia only tank for a long time. Never ate any of the Euphilia. They went after some of the acans. They went after some of the LPS corals. And I mean, I just think I'm gonna find the corals it doesn't eat and try and keep the fish. I mean, I want to be able to keep angelfish. They're nice and they're not very common in reef tanks. So that's something I'm gonna actually attempt to do, being that I don't have so much coral in the tank. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I can add coral based on the fish that I'm adding as well.
gotcha.
I'm just not a fish person.
Really?
They're
So is it like, do you see an angle like on your tank, like a specific amount of fish you want to see in your tank though, or do you really not care at all? Like how many?
Me?
Yeah, you.
Yeah, you. No, I literally look at that as poop machines. So I only add enough to keep up the bio and like keep a balance between that.
Gotcha.
That's it. Like
Gotcha.
I yeah,
Yeah,
I
no,
won't add more. I mean, I add the least minimum poop machines that I can.
and that's
I love
interesting.
coral. Yeah,
That,
it's
that's
hard.
interesting you say that because I meet a lot of people lately that are going all coral only. Like really, they don't want any fish in their tank, and it's
not.
like
Yeah,
it's
that's
surprisingly it's trending. Like some
I
people are doing that.
have like I've never had a big tank before. This is the biggest tank I've ever had, and for me, I think it's humongous. It's a giant ass tank. Um, I want to put like 20 fish in there. I want there to be fish everywhere. Like there's some tanks you go online and you see it, and it's just so many fish. You know what I'm saying? And it just like it looks really good.
yeah.
Yeah.
Want
I'm
to be
getting there. I held back for a long time from putting fish, man. I had found the spot that I liked and I loved my fish. So I was like scared to introduce anything else and like hurt my babies at that point. So I was like, these are good. I'm gonna stick to this. But then I've always wanted a school of Antheus. I love schooling fish. I think that's so. And obviously with my kind of volcano looking rock, like I always pictured the schools around the rock work. But Antheus were my end goal. You know, for me, I love some beautiful pink Antheus, a nice school, and I finally got them. And they're great. They look beautiful. So I'm real happy right now with the amount of fish I got. You know, and it's pretty stocked up. So that's pretty
So
cool.
Frog Ridge Reefing says he has like 45 fish in his 200 gallon. So that's what I want. I want it like that. Like my tank's 150 gallons, and the way I see it, being that it's wide, it's not long, right?
Mm.
I can put more fish in there, I think, because I guess they need room to swim long ways, but they're fish, and you got them in a box, and it's a big box. I think it'll be fine. I
Yeah,
think I can put 25 fish in there, and it'll be. I
yeah.
think it'll.
How about you, Coral King? Like I know, and obviously, me and you talk behind the scenes and stuff. So, but I know you definitely like the collection is important to you. Like the
Right.
types of fish, like that means something to you. But is there a quantity you're trying to reach? Like, is there like not a quantity per se on the number, but like a
Mhm.
look that you really want to have like this heavy feed, or are you really just going for a specific look?
All right. Yeah. Before I answer that, I want to go back to the coral only tanks that we were talking about earlier.
Oh
And
yeah,
I
yeah,
actually
yeah.
had my tank like fishless for 3 months straight.
Mm.
And then like it was cool and all, but then I started seeing like pests come up, like flatworms, bristleworms, and like stars, everything. Like so, more than just pooping, like I was kind of like dying to put a wrasse in the tank at one point because I was like, I need something to eat all those pests.
That makes sense.
So, like probably at the end of the 3 month mark, like everything just got like completely covered in flatworms at that point because I had like nothing to eat them. You know, everything
Mm.
got out of control. So, and then back to the fish part, I'm just trying to fit as many fish as I possibly can
Mm.
that that like my tank could like sustain. Like, I'm not trying to overstock it, but I'm talking to people about like the sizes of the fish, and I'm just trying to like hit that maximum number without like causing any damage
Right.
because there's just like so many rare fish out there. It's just crazy. So
The
it's hit
problem
or miss.
when the fish get big, like you don't have, you're not growing a SBS tank, but I notice a lot on online when you watch like YouTube videos, a lot of people that have those big SBS tanks, they have big tangs in them. They
Mm.
Right.
break corals all the time because they run out of room once the corals grow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's
I
something
mean,
to think
it's
about.
I'm trying to have like an FPS dominant tank with this new build, and my issue is it's like my aquascape isn't geared for a lot of water, you know. Like and I built it that way so it'd have a lot of flow and light reach in all the areas, but it's kind of hard with some of the fish, especially the ones that like to hide. I wanted to add both in there. I did, but I had to move over like a whole bunch of rock from my 40 gallon and stuff like that. That kind of messed with the aquascape. I don't like that. So it does depend on what corals you plan to do, because I can't have a dirty, very dirty tank.
That's a good point too, though. Like now that you say that, because the aquascaping style that you have is also a very popular style now. It's like a very modern, trending look with the branching. So it's a common. I'm sure there's a lot of people that have the same thought process as you. As far as like their tanks. But yeah, aquascaping does play a big part in that. Now that you say that,
I did my escape with a lot of fish in mind.
Mm,
Um, and at the same time that I was doing it, I was watching the video about aquascaping, about making it for the fish, making caves. So I kind of tried to make mine look more like a reef where I stacked rocks, but I made a lot of caves and I made a lot of swim throughs.
mm.
It looks dark inside of there. The whole thing is you can swim through it. You know what I mean? Like 20 fish could hide easily, I think. I bought a blonde naso tang and it's pretty big. It's decent size, and it can go inside the rockwork and I won't even see it. But the rock is open enough that I can take it out in pieces and it works really well.
And Coral King, how about you? Like, did you consider your aquascaping at all when you did the fish? Like, did you consider fishes when you were doing your aquascaping on your main tank?
I don't know if you guys know Pristine Rocks. He's like down in Homestead.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, I got him to do my aquascape. I just hit him up because Subculture Corals, he recommended me to go to him. So I was like, okay. He put me in touch. I was like, just make me escape that I could put like a lot of corals in. So it was actually kind of minimal, honestly. Like if you look, like this rockscape, there's nothing behind it. It just kind of goes around. Like there's not a lot of spaces for fish to hide, honestly, which I'm kind of disappointed about. Like there's a Dr. Seuss hiding underneath this ledge.
Of Scully's. That's so beautiful.
I had a hermit crab like munch on this guy earlier, but let me see. Yeah, there's not really a lot of hiding space. My thing is really, really bare. I had to add those rocks in the back just to create more space. But everything, like, I don't even know. Like, there's not really any caves or dens. I kind of let them try to figure it out themselves. And so far, it's been doing okay.
Can
Close
you go?
for corals, though, and I mean, keeping algae in bay and stuff. I mean, that really bothered me with my first tank was that I didn't like take that into account as much. I had a lot of issues. So those kinds of scapes, at least where the back is like open and stuff, and that the flow can go through there, it helps out your tank so much more in the long run. And then you just add little pieces of rock like you did in the sand bed, you know, for any fish
Yeah.
you need that.
Koral said to show the Dr. Seuss. Could you tell us all the fish you got in there? I mean, you might as well. You got all the
rare fish. I'll go left to right. So here we have
Off though, good talking to y'all. I'm
Oh,
now.
Thank
So.
you.
bye. Thanks for joining.
All right,
I
go
think I
ahead.
cut out for a second. What happened?
Did we lose audio on them, guys? Coral King.
Am I still here? Can y'all hear me?
You there? Now we can hear you now.
Okay, bet. All right, I'm gonna start left to right. Here we got the what's it called? The Leopropoma ludulatum. Like just to put it in scale, like look how big this guy is. He's bigger than the like hogfish. Like
That's so pretty, though.
like that guy's big. And then here we have a true Mastodai. This guy is like a deep water Japanese fish, one of the rarest ones. Should I tell the price of them too, like the value of each one?
That'd be so cool. I didn't want to.
I don't think you should tell them.
Yes, please.
Don't.
So we got oh here, look at the scale of that. Like that guy is huge. So surprisingly, this was only 5K. Like, I thought this would be a lot more for the first fish in the Americas to be only 5K. So this bass looks 5K.
That's surprising. I'm surprised. That's the one I wanted to know just because of the backstory of the whole Japanese having, first in America. I thought that was going to be more, but it's still.
Yeah, it's only 5K. And the fluoresces under blues. Well, now it's being photogenic. You can just see how huge it is.
What a beautiful.
I feel like if it's the first one, you got to name it. I mean.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just not that creative, honestly.
This is
Guys, on the comments, Coral King needs help.
He needs to name the first fish.
Guys, let's name the fish tonight. Des made the commitment that we're going to name it on this live.
Right now he's saying luma 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 luma.
All right, keep going. Keep going. I want to keep hearing this.
And then next, we got the gem tang, which is probably the second most common fish in here. So, just a normal gem tang. And then we got a red satch hogfish. This one was like, I think, 4,500. That one's also like a super rare deep water Japanese fish. They only come in seasons too over in Japan.
I feel like that hogfish. I feel like I see that one at the store. Like on the rocks.
This one?
No, the other one.
Oh, the big guy? He's hiding behind the torches right now.
Hey, Des, that Japanese fish.
They might have. Yeah, that one. They might have got him on that one. Let me see.
They might have
Fish that is just like on the coral. You know
nah, dude,
no.
These are uber rare, bro. Trust me. Yeah, these are uber rare.
And then next is the second fish I got, the Katayamai. This is the one that was like going crazy for like 20K.
Ooh.
So, yeah, this is like probably the nicest. I'm getting another Antheus coming in too. That's gonna be way crazier than this guy. But this one is like, yeah, a 20K fish right there. But yeah, that one's something.
Those streamers are beautiful on it too.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like at first I thought that was poop hanging down the bottom, but that's a streamer.
That's
I don't know what fin that is, but it's a streamer apparently. And we have a yellow tang here. This one came from Worldwide Coral's display tank. The yellow tang here.
Wow.
So they caught it out of one of their displays. So I just got it from them, like right when Hawaii was banned.
Oh wow.
And then here we have the Arini tilefish. I got a pair of them.
That one's
These guys like used to be super, super rare. I think they still are rare, but I think they're becoming more common now.
What does that guy go for?
I think from 900 to 1500 right now. It kind of varies.
That's not too bad.
And then
$900 for a fish is not too bad.
He's getting me weird. Yeah, the Coral King got me thinking weird. I already like find those normal priced. Like after talking to him for so long, it's just it doesn't wow me any.
Yeah,
I mean, those masked angels. Go to those masked angels, and I'll let you to give the kind of the price point and everything. But I did see a news article today that, because I don't know if you know this, Des, but those masked angelfish are only bred by this one lady in Hawaii.
Yep.
Okay, and she just announced that she's retiring for a few years. So there's only like a handful left before she starts breeding them again. So I'm assuming the value is gonna go up. But am I right, Coral King, or what's up?
Yeah, so Karen Britton over in Hawaii, she's the only person that breeds masked angelfish. So the deal with masked angelfish is you could get them in the wild, but where they live, right, like the area of Hawaii, it's protected. So you could only catch them on like the edge of wherever their protected sanctuary is. But then masked angelfish, they rarely get to that edge. And if they do, they go like super deep. So what's really funny is like you could see masked angelfish all over Hawaii in shallow waters, but you're not allowed to catch them. You have to go to the edge of the protected area to catch them, but they rarely go there, like I said. So that's why wild caught angelfish, they can go upwards of like 50 grand, like a true wild caught one. I think like a wild trio was like sold for like 120K or something. Yeah, what's up, Juicy Reef? But then, yeah, so these are like all the masked angelfish you see now. They're all captive bred by one person, Karen Britton, and she also captive breeds Interruptus angels. I'm not sure about joculators, but I know Interruptus, masked angelfish, and then yeah, she's taking a break. She only gets to around like 7 to 11 masked angelfish per year every time she breeds them.
Don't you want some angelfish, Des?
Yeah.
Was that 120?
120. Oh man.
I'll give you the fish tank for 120. And you just have everything for 120.
So now give these people what's one of those masked angels going for right now, Coral King?
So they go for like 17 grand each, I'm pretty sure.
So now I got a deeper question. How is it possible you went to the Dodge place and you didn't get a Scat Pack?
Yo,
what was the decision-making process there? Like,
it was my first car.
right?
My family didn't want me to go faster. Like, yo, Alan, just like the guy literally told them too. It's like, yo, V8, and then my parents were like, no, V6.
That's crazy.
That makes it out. It's beautiful.
No, the car is raw. Look at the car. The car is awesome.
Dude, I see him. I know Coral King's at a frag swap in the parking lot. Like, I already know when I see that car in a frag swap.
He's the first car. Who put that nice first car? He killed it. The first car, he killed it.
For real. I wish my first car was like that.
On the first car.
That's a beautiful car.
That shit is raw.
That shit's crazy.
I don't think you ever seen a car like this.
I want one of these cars.
Unique.
I want one of these cars with all the stickers.
Dude, I'm shit you not, man. It's impressive seeing it at the parking lot. Like, it's just such a pretty car, man.
I got the subwoofers and everything. This thing like booms, like it goes loud. I got underglow, amp rack.
Eesh.
And shaded on.
You guys can't really see it.
Fucked up.
We lost. No, there you're back.
When you graduate, you need to tell them you need to just drop the 550 at the graduation.
Hey, that And you gotta love that blue hue that peeks out of everybody's house. That's
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
that's the international like bat, the bat sign for the reefers. You see a blue or a white light deep, you know what we're doing. We some reefers. That's no pun intended.
The tank is raw, man. So let me ask you a question. Have people started now that you have that collection of rare fish, you got all these corals in there. Are like people reaching out to you to take pictures of it, come and see it? Is
Reef
Jake Adams
photos.
aware? Somebody tagged Jake Adams. Is he aware
Oh
of
yeah,
what?
like even before I got this guy right here, Jake Adams was like, by the end of this year, I want to like fly over to South Florida and like stop by your place to do an article.
That's crazy.
And then
All the
aficionado Richard, he also wants to do like a cool video of it. Michael Vargas, oh man, I got a bug on me. Michael Vargas was like, "Yo, let me come over and take some pictures." So I don't know. I'm just trying to like clean my tank up. I want to put like more hammers before they all come. Maybe some more torches. I want to put nicer scullies. And I just want to like, they could come anytime. It's just I really want to make it like the best that it can look before they come.
right. What about those ones that you cut in half? What happened with that?
Ooh.
They're all over at Reef Supreme's place. So I did that when I was up in college, up in Gainesville. So since I live like 5 hours like south, it's like I don't have a saw
Right.
and up there. So I just went to his place. He has a saw. We just started cutting up corals and I left it in his tank. So they're all doing good over there.
Wow, dude. Well, dude, let me show y'all real quick the floor. I forgot that I had, done the floor. I want to show you guys how it came out. Ugh, I had some people say they want. I can't even get up out
Knock-
of this sofa,
When is the
man.
Atlanta show?
Say that
When
again.
no, Knockout Forums asked me if I'm gonna go to the Atlanta show. When is
Oh,
it? I think it's on the 12th.
so guys, that's the new floor right there.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah, it is. So that's my bedroom. So I walk into like sand bed. I got a little sand bed when I walk out. I'm about this for real, guys. That's it. I'm all in. I got the ocean on the floor now. That's it. It's game over. But it came out really nice, man. Shout out to Epoxy Waves, man. They from Naples. We went to school together. He's actually a reefer himself, and we got back connected. I had this idea, and we worked together. He brought it to life for me, so I appreciate that. But if y'all want to do some epoxy floors, check out Epoxy Waves. He's all South Florida, but he does some amazing work, man. I'm very, very happy with it. Very happy with it. Beautiful blue. It's a very nice. It looks just like water. Came out really, really cool. So,
How
yeah,
do you clean
guys.
a normal floor?
Say that again.
How do you clean it? Like a normal floor? Like it has a
Yeah, yeah. Hold on. Let me flip back around now. It's actually, it's a commonly used floor for like more commercial businesses and stuff like that. Like a lot of, like a lot of high-end stores, a lot of these mall stores, they do a lot of this epoxy flooring. It's used in garages a lot, like especially like those fancy garages, with that they put like the Corvette logo or whatever, you're into the man caves or whatever. He does a lot of like very unique work though. I love his work. So I thought about the beach thing. I was like, I want to do the beach thing. And
nah, it looks
oh,
really super unique.
thanks, man.
Yeah, it looks clean.
Thanks, guys.
Let me see what we say here.
We got a bunch of people in here. Knockout, man. Did you guys see Knockout's display at Aquacella? Dude, he killed it, man. He killed it. He did a hell of a job. He did like a whole Halloween theme to match like Aquacella's Halloween theme. Like you got to give that credit, man. Like that's really going above and beyond.
13th, I'll definitely be there.
For which one?
There's a show in Atlanta somewhere.
Ooh.
It can't be that far away. It's got to be like 30 minutes away.
Have you looked into the shows in Georgia in general? Do you get a lot of like local frag swaps in Georgia at all? Like even on the outskirts, maybe?
I've been here like 7 months. There's been one, and now there's gonna be a second one.
That's a pretty. I mean, that's lining up with Miami. I mean, Miami's up.
Oh,
I mean, only done one actually. Now that I think about it, well, even though there's West Palm coming, but that's not really Miami. But I guess South Florida
this is
there's been
the
two.
second one that I've seen this year since I've been here, and I came in April, I think.
How about you, hey Coral King? Are you gonna be out at the West Palm frag swap?
No, I wish. I missed like the last two frag stops I wanted to go to because I got work. So then they just, I don't know. They put me on a weekend, so I can't even like, and all the shows are on weekends. So I missed out
Gotcha,
on like, I'm missing out on 3 shows I had planned I was gonna go to.
gotcha.
But I gotta fund this hobby somehow.
Yeah.
Working as a busboy at a restaurant.
I don't think that's gonna work, bro.
Oh man.
We're gonna advise against that plan.
Nah, but hey, that you gotta appreciate that. That's the man. You know, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, all
Hey, so are you pretty much done? Are you still going to school though, or how's that doing?
Yeah, I'm still a sophomore at UF, so yeah, and I like at my place, like I got my roommate, like he loves like going to the mangrove now. So like my
That
roommate, he loves plants, right? So then I couldn't like we have like way too many tanks because I set up so many at our place, but I convinced him to do a mangrove lagoon since it's a mix of plants and reefing. So I got him hooked onto it, and I just picked up this mangrove today from 247 Aquariums.
that's exactly what I need right there.
I know King Tide was looking for one too. He got this one from Julian Sprung, and then I got it from him. And this mangrove tree is around 8 years old. I'm pretty sure.
So what's inside of the bucket? Is there sand in there, or is it just roots?
It looks like you put in some dirt. Honestly, looks like dirt and water.
So you know what I was thinking about doing? I was thinking about in the back compartment of my tank, because my tank's overflow goes from one side to the other.
Right.
I'll put in a thick layer of like that miracle mud kind of stuff.
Yeah.
The roots of the mangroves back there.
Yeah, that works. You just need to get like a really good, strong light for them. Because I'm doing the same thing in a way with mine. You can see my biocube. I have the mangroves up here, but they're like not doing so hot because I have like no light for them.
You
You
got to
see,
pull on
like
top of
this
it.
one's withering, but they used to be pretty good.
um, there's a dude down here that he's like one of the few that are licensed to actually like produce these mangroves. I guess he's licensed, but that's where I was telling you Des, that I was gonna get yours from.
Yeah.
Um, coincidentally, he also does Fido. Um, But yeah, the mangroves are popping right now. I mean, I don't know about if you knew this, but I'm in the plant business, Coral King. So I've always like loved the mangroves and like the mix. I got some air plants. I didn't do mangroves, and I wanted to do mangroves dead in the middle because my
Mhm.
wife really wasn't feeling the idea, and I already got a tank in the middle of the room. So I have to compromise. So I went with air plants to compromise. But yeah, the mangroves are hot. I like that natural look. I mean, obviously I do, I'm trying to really hit that natural look home.
Yeah.
But the mangroves, those and they're so good for the tank too. I mean, they are really good for tanks. Are you going to be connecting your lagoon to any system like for filtration, or is it going to be an independent tank?
It's just gonna be a big sum, basically.
Oh,
It's
but it's
just
going to be a something.
yeah. It's not going to be some for anything, but like it's just gonna have like no filtration. It's just that body of water. You
Gotcha.
know,
Are
maybe
you
if I
putting
really need to, I'll do like a filter, like a canister filter at most. But I really want to keep it just that if I
are you
can.
putting any fish?
I want to do clams, like School of Promise, maybe some candy baslets in there too. Or another idea I had was keep it like native, like only local stuff. So you know how like red mangroves grow across like Florida? It's
Yeah,
like what if I did local like native fish, like
that
candy
sounds cool.
baslets. Like candy bassets are just off the coast of Florida, so it's like they fit in.
I
It's
had a
just like,
feeling. I had a feeling that's the thought process of yours, because that like I kind of seen the big bags of sand and just macros in a bin. I thought
yeah.
you wanted to do like a top down look of just like that natural scene.
Yeah, I think it'd be super cool with like Florida native lagoon tank.
So
So
what's
that's
the
mine. That's why I'm so happy I got a lagoon tank because the whole idea for me was I have the lagoon tank, right? Worldwide Corals has their lagoon tank. I even thought about drilling some holes to make it shallower, but I was like, it's already right. But if I have that mangrove, that big mangrove with the roots system coming out, you know what I'm saying?
yeah?
Going into the display, going down towards the sand, like that's what I like to
That's a
see.
cool look. Now let me ask you. But I got to give you credit, Des. If you guys go back to a few lives ago, one of Des's views or visions when he was building his tank was he wanted his rock work to look similar to the WWC Lagoon.
Yeah,
I think you nailed it, brother. I think you nailed it. The way it looks, it really, like, without you saying it, like, my first impression of it was that it had that look from the start. Like, when I first saw it, I was like, yeah, he got it. He definitely hit those like, it's those barriers that go into the main rock.
all they really did was they made rows and then stacked on top of the rows, but you have gaps in between everything. So the water's flowing, but you have those rows coming out. You can make different islands. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So, Coral King, next time you go to Worldwide Corals, you let them know Des is coming for him.
Yeah.
Let them
Yeah.
know.
The cool tank I thought about when I was looking at the WWC like lagoon tank was like if I had like a theme and I did like Japan, these Shinto shrines that come out of the water,
Oh, that's so
like what if
badass.
you did a lagoon with like a big version of this
Oof.
coming out of the water with
Oof.
just fish swimming around with like a underwater Buddha statue?
Mm-hmm.
It's just gonna be. I think it's just a crazy theme because like we own like restaurants, Japanese restaurants down in South Florida. So I was just thinking like, what if I started a lagoon tank in one of the restaurants, have a shrine come out, and then
Yeah.
just look just like the lagoon.
Now, have
Yeah.
you pitched that towards, like, is that something you think you could pull off and get it in a restaurant?
Yeah, I talked to Worldwide Corals. They said they'll do it too. They're like, we come down and we like fund the whole thing basically. And they're just like, the only thing is, when you grow corals, we'll just come down and we'll frag them and we'll take them back up to Orlando. That's what they said.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Right
See
now,
the
it's so cool.
I got it. There's levels.
We've been saying that, Des. The Reef Experience, you go back to every live, we've brought that up. There's levels to this, man. Oh, eight.
Yeah. Well, restaurants, shout them out. So people can go.
Saito's Japanese Steakhouse. It's like located from North Palm Beach all the way down to like Dania Beach.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome, man. And they're beautiful locations too. Very, very beautiful. I mean, they do that. They get that.
Also, I'm a general manager for a restaurant.
Dang, yeah. That's pretty cool. I'm trying to work up there.
Yeah, I gotta catch up. I need to make my own restaurant. That's what I gotta do.
Hey, and then we need WWC to fund that tank.
Right, and then they can fund that tank.
Nah, man. But that's goals, man. That's goals. That's definitely goals, man. I like the way you're thinking though, like, to apply it to your business too, because I going back in the days, like, that was always one of the most impressive parts of some of these restaurants. Like, Miami has a bunch of restaurants with tanks, and it's just always like, especially us that were reefers. I guess it's extra to us, but even to anybody, like, it's always such an eye grab seeing one of these nice reef tanks with fish and stuff in these restaurants or businesses.
No, I think it definitely adds to a restaurant when you walk in.
Mm-hmm.
Even in Asian culture, fish tanks are like good luck for
Yeah,
restaurants.
yep. Here in
Yeah.
Atlanta, a lot of where I live, there's a lot of Asian restaurants because there's a big Korean community around me. Like you walk into Publix and like there's signs in Korean, right? So there's a lot of Asian restaurants and they all have big fish tanks, big ponds, koi fish, all of them. There's one that has like the Ferris wheel and trees growing out of it. It's pretty dope.
Man, that's
Yeah.
badass.
Oh,
But,
that's good luck.
well, Des, we had an hour and 20. Unfortunately, we lost Tier One Reefing today. But we hope to have him on again, man. We definitely want to keep having the convo going. We appreciate the time you gave us. But man, thanks to everybody again for joining. Des, you got anything you want to talk about, or?
Nah, man. Thanks you guys for joining us. Guy just showed us $1 million in worth of fish from tanked.
Coral King, man, you're the GOAT. We
Yes,
appreciate you
man.
coming on as always, bro. For real.
I
Yeah.
don't know.
Always showing love. Queen Reef also. Queen Reef, thank you for joining today. We appreciate you too. It's the
Yeah,
Reef
man.
Experience.
You guys
Deuces.
have a good night.
Good night.